Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. My name is Victoria Cabrera with the Medicare Space live show here in San Antonio, Texas. And it may look a little different today because we don't have Miss Sylvia Toscano here. But who do we have here today?
Adriana Rodriguez.
I'm going to need you to be a little bit louder, Adriana.
Adriana Rodriguez.
There you go. There you go. So we have Adriana Rodriguez here as a stand-in today. Miss Sylvia Toscano is, she has to get back out in the field, but she is going to be gone this Friday and next Friday, but I guarantee she will be back. But you will not be disappointed with Miss Adriana Rodriguez. Don't let her fool you. She acts shy, but she is not, for those of you that are listening that know her. Adriana joined us 3 months ago with the Medicare Space. She's been helping a lot of, she may have helped you if you're listening and needed help with Medicare. She may have helped you with some of your Medicare questions that you may have had. And she's been helping us here specifically for seniors enrolling in Medicare and their plan. So how have you liked it? So since you've only been in the senior market for 3 months, so going on 4, how have you liked it so far? Like, what's your experience working with the senior population? And make sure when you talk real good, nice. And
I enjoy it. I've previous experience working with seniors. With my previous employer, I had, customers of all ages.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of my customers were seniors. So I have a good rapport with them.
Mm-hmm.
Once I let them know, I'm not like this young kid who doesn't know anything. I'm not as young as I look. So.
Well, let's see. Now that you asked.
So I love to talk to people who are older than me because I feel like they have so much to offer.
Yeah.
And they have so much knowledge and they've lived a lot longer than I have. And so for me, I find it beneficial. I enjoy it.
If you're listening in and you're a senior, or if you're not, do you agree with that statement that seniors are wiser than us? Well, I'm not a youngin'. I can't say I'm a youngin' anymore. Brooke, I know you're back there recording for us. Can you do us a huge favor and go turn down that AC? Because I'm like a freaking chicken under what do you call the little eggs under an or those little things? I don't know.
The little
I didn't grow up.
They keep them warm.
Yeah, I didn't grow up on a farm, guys. Sorry, I don't know I know I should know this stuff. But we wanted to thank you guys for always joining in at 10 a.m. every Friday, Central Standard Time. We're really making an effort to try to be here every Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I know Sylvia's not going to be here for the next 2 weeks. So we are going to be getting in nice, beautiful stand-ins to help us answer questions for our senior population. And really anybody that's listening. I had mentioned to Adriana before that this started off being kind of a Medicare education live show, but it's kind of evolved into like just educating everybody on senior resources, senior Medicare, obviously, because that's what it's about, the Medicare Space live show. But when Sylvia and I are here, we're just cracking jokes. And I know when I'm with Adriana, we're just cracking jokes all day long. So again, welcome and thank you for filling in for her. Thank you for filling in for her. So we wanted to, I know that with Adriana, she used to work for, we won't say who or what or, the name, but she used to work for a gym for many years, 10 years, right?
Yes. So I started off as a front desk and I mostly worked mornings. So that's when I would get a lot of my customers, a lot of my regulars. And so a lot of those were seniors. And I love that. I had relationships with them. If they were ever gone for more than a couple of days, I'd be like, hey, where are you at? I haven't seen you in a while. Is everything okay? So I did enjoy those relationships that I had.
Now, because you were still working there during the pandemic, right?
Yes.
Did you see a lot of seniors obviously there was a lot of changes with the rules that people couldn't really go in the gym. Did you notice a lot of seniors when they got back in? What was their feedback, or did you even see them after that at all? What was that experience?
So yes, it was sad. I mean, obviously it happened to all of us, right? We weren't able to do a lot of things, but once we got back in and the gyms opened back up, I know Texas opened up a lot sooner than some other states, but for us, it was nice because it was thing for them to do every day.
Yeah.
It was a spot for them to go.
Yep.
And they used it to go meet their friends.
Yep.
They went and they would socialize, and they would socialize with us, and they would socialize with other customers. And so for me, it was nice to see that.
Yeah.
One of the last clubs that I was at, I loved it because I grew up on that side of town. And so it had a very close-knit community feeling.
Now, those are you that just joined on, not the nightclub. She's talking about the fitness club, okay?
Yes, that's what we refer to it in the business. And so like I said, I started off as a front desk and slowly worked my way up. I was a manager for a little bit over 7 years, close. So I managed clubs for a while. But yes, I would say that once we got back into the swing of things, they were really thankful and grateful because that's a release for them, exercise releases endorphins. Endorphins make you feel better. And so for them, being locked up, that was hard. Yeah. Yeah. And I know for like when we would talk to our clients, it was hard because not only did the gyms close, the senior centers closed, that's where they usually got their food. And then of course they don't have the socialization that they were getting like at the fitness clubs. It might have felt like a club because I've been into some of those places and it's like, and then also they had a lot of those like, so when you're on a Medicare plan or a Medicare Advantage plan, a lot of you guys out there will have embedded benefits for fitness memberships. Most of the plans now offer them. Yes. In some plans it's called silver sneakers. I always sounds weird when I say it. Silver sneakers, silver and fit. And then you also have with a specific company, you have what's called Renew Active. And in essence, they're kind of all the same thing, right? It's a program embedded in your Medicare health plan, which is normally Medicare Advantage plans. Not a lot of supplement plans will have those additional benefits. But what it is just like a network of gyms and fitness facilities and some go as far as like having other resources that are tied to like mental health as well, like brain games and things like that. But all Silver and Fit is, and Silver Sneakers and Renew Active, it's a network of facilities that you're able to go into. And when our seniors weren't having access to that, those options, it was kind of really hard because they weren't engaging, because you get into your routine. Yes. Like when I go to the gym, I get into a routine. When I'm out of the gym, I get into a routine. I'm not going anymore, And so when I was there all the time. And when even if I took a month off, what happens? It's hard to get back into it. Yeah. And Adrienne is good because she made me buy a treadmill here because she's like, come on. You said you wanted it. I said, I know. So we have this thing going on. So if you're listening in and you want to join in, it's not too late. I mean, it's kind of aggressive, but it's not too late. We did this thing where we're doing, what are we doing? So it's 100-mile challenge. So I presented it to Victoria last Friday, I think. And so I had already done some miles the day before. So I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm all right. But I was telling her, I was either going to run or walk 100 miles, but I was going back and I guess if you move 100 miles worth, but we're going to actually walk or run 100 miles. So if you wanted to move and it equivalates to 100 miles of movement, then it's still. Yeah. But I said, we ain't going to be cheating. Okay. Cause we need to be doing 100 miles. So by the end of this month, we got to get our 100 miles in. Adriana's way ahead of me. I'm only like at 2 or 3. I think I'm on at 2. I'm not even going to give myself the 3, but I know I'm good. I'm a procrastinator. So I'll probably do 99 miles the last day. And then you won't see me on the live shows for about 2 weeks because I'll be in the hospital from exhaustion. So for those of you that are listening and you want to join the challenge, maybe if you're a senior, don't do 100 miles. Yeah, don't do that. Or maybe you already do like 3 or 4 miles a day, which is great. Let us know if you want to join in, or let us know if you just want to like get active. We want to start, because the gyms have already opened up. It was awesome. I was at the gym the other day, the one day I went, and there was a lot of seniors there, which I was really excited to see. The gym that I go to, and they were actually having a class. Surprisingly, they had
I think it was like late afternoon they were having the class. So so the gyms are open. Most of them are. If you're a senior listening, or if you're not even a senior, let's take this challenge. If you can't do 100 miles by the end of the month, maybe make a commitment to do 25.
Mhm.
That's only like 1 mile a day from here on out, or maybe 1.5 miles a day from here on out. And if you are watching the show, please make sure that you share, or let me know where you're listening from. Are you listening from San Antonio, Texas? Where are you listening from? Because we get a lot of outside listeners outside of San Antonio. And be sure you like the show, because anytime you like and share and comment, it lets a Facebook show more people that the show's actually going on. So thank you so much for you guys that are always joining in. And again, for those of you that just joined, Adriana Rodriguez, she's standing in for Silvio Toscano, and she's doing, what do y'all think? Y'all think she's doing a great job? Do y'all think, what do you think, Brooke? So Brooke's out there. Brooke, have you guys have not noticed on my Instagram and Facebook, and I think Sylvia's listening, and I think she should have got in. We could have sent her a link. She could have got in. But anyway, Brooke, she's actually started with us. How long ago? Like a month ago? She started with us a month ago. And if you notice that we've been on TikTok, Instagram, we're doing more on Facebook. And what else are we doing? That's it right now, right? Kind of like those 3 platforms. And if you notice, if you go to our Instagram or even our Facebook, if you notice, like, we're posting a lot more. It's not me, guys. Like, I'm not like like this awesome. It's Brooke. Okay. She's the one that's creating all of our content now, and she's doing an amazing job. And guess what? Guess what? How old she is? How old do you think she is? Can I say?
Yeah.
She's 16 years old, guys. So if you're sitting on your butt and you're unemployed, you better get your booty out there, because she's coming to work on her summer break. And we're even trying to figure out a way how she can still work with us through school, where it's not interfering with her school. So for those of you, give Brooke a hand for dealing with our social media. Woo. Okay. So going back to the gyms. Okay. So like when you worked at the gym, I always see like crazy stuff. Like, I'm not even joking. One time, I think it was right before, like when COVID, they opened stuff up. I was at the gym, and some guy walked in like in a pink like leotard, right, with a little pink like lunchbox or something. And I'm like, okay, am I being pranked here? Like, but then I saw him actually working out on the equipment, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
was
like,
he doing anything cool on the equipment?
No, he was just like, but this was like a full on like leotard. Like, I'm talking,
shoot.
If you're watching out there, sorry, no offense, but I was like
a little
okay,
taken back.
Wait,
it's not gym attire.
Yeah. And it's, I'm used to seeing it at some other gyms, but not this gym. So when you were working at the gym, did you see any like crazy stuff that the seniors were doing? Or like, did you see like the little viejos that come in and like flirt with all the ladies?
I would. I think that's the cutest thing, because it doesn't matter how old you are. You never lose that want or feeling of wanting to bond with somebody.
Yep.
So for me, I thought it was really sweet. And so sometimes they'd come up to us and they'd be like, hey, there's nothing going on. Like, I don't want y'all to think anything bad. And we're like, we're not thinking anything bad. Now we are, because you came up to us and said something. But I would say that it's nice. Like I said, it's a place for them, not just for seniors, but for everybody to go and unwind and kind of just let everything kind of just go. We kind of serve sometimes as therapists. People would come to us and tell us things. And it was nice. They trusted us with those things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm a little less. Adriana's very PC, if you can tell, right? And I'm not, because okay. And I know if Carmenza's listening, she can attest to this, where there's like viejitos, like I'm talking 80s, that will come up to you and hit on you. And I'm like, not me, because, but more her, but I seen it happen too, like where, people just want to chit chat.
Yes.
But there's some guys out there that are like some older guys, that are like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, shouldn't you be hitting on the older ladies?
So with that, it did happen. Obviously, like we had trainers, male and female trainers, and the girls, they worked there. They're pretty girls. And so for me, I guess because I worked there for so long and I kind of have like this sense of like when people are being creepers. So I could always sense when an older gentleman was being a
Creepy
perv,
creeper,
or
yeah.
creeper. And when they were just trying to be friendly.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I would tell the girls, I'm like, he just wants somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Or he's a pervert.
It's
You need to stay
harmless.
away from him.
So when Adriana first started with me, she'd be like, oh, it's okay. And then she's like, girl, like this man is wanting to marry me and he's never even seen me before. And I'm like, I'm telling you that, people just want love, right?
Yeah. So everything I used to do was in person, and, people will hit on you and tell you things and stuff. And I kind of just blow it off. But over the phone, you don't know what I look like. And I've always thought I've had a harsh voice over the phone. And so the first time, I'll never forget, there was this man, and he was like, hey, can I ask you something? And I was like, yes. He's like, are you married? I was like, yes. He's like, oh, that's a shame, because I'd love to take you out on a date. And I was like, what? You don't even know what I look like. I just thought it was so funny. And then I had this other guy who asked me if I was married, and then asked me if the girl in the videos was married, and he was referring to Victoria. And I was like, yes. Yes and yes.
Yes. Yeah.
He was like, oh, because I'm looking for a wife. And I was like,
and let me give you Sylvia Toscano's number. Sylvia, if you're listening, I love you. We will only send hot looking men over to you. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And not to pick on men either, because there's some little ladies that are like, they walk in their little sports bra, and I'm like, dang, those are goals right there.
I had a lady one time touch one of my trainers.
Really?
She was like, oh my God, I love your muscles. I wasn't there. If not, I would have said something. I was like, you let her do that? He's like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, what the heck? No.
What would you have done though? What could you really do?
I would have been like,
excuse me, ma'am,
you do not touch that young boy. He was young. He was obviously legal, because you have to be a certain age to work there. But
yeah,
I just thought, you're right. It's not just men, it's women too.
Yeah.
Although I joke around with my husband, and I'm like, when I get older, I'm gonna be one of those ladies.
hey.
If you're listening, I've already told you this, babe. So, yeah.
Hey guys, I think Adriana is doing awesome. If you think she's doing awesome, put it in the comments. Let her know. Show her some love. Say, Adriana, you are, because last week she was a little more shy, like this, right? She was so shy, and now she's opening up. If you just joined in, we're talking about, because Adriana used to work for in a gym, in a fitness club, for about 10 years. She used to manage a fitness club, and we were just talking about things that we used to, she ran into, or weird situations that you've seen at the gym. If you've been to the gym and you've had a weird situation, put it in the comments. We want to know. We like hearing little cheese men.
Oh, you want to know something funny and gross? People's favorite thing to do was to pee in the tanning rooms.
My God.
Yes. Pee in the tanning rooms. Because I guess they're too far from the restrooms. And so they would go into tan and they would pee in the trash cans.
Oh my God.
So we find pee in the trash can.
That is gross. So, okay, let's talk about gym etiquette. Okay. So one, can I say what I don't like?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're the type of person that sweats a lot, profusely, or just even sweats a little bit, and you know what, if they're on a weight machine or something like that, and then they walk off, and I'm like, okay, they're going to clean the machine. And they never clean the machine. I'm like, how? I don't want to see what your house looks like. Okay. Because it probably smells like freaking armpits and gym bag, right?
I would say that was one of the biggest pet peeves of anybody, for everybody. We had signage everywhere. We made people aware of the rules, and everybody who goes to the gym knows that if you use a piece of equipment, wipe it down. That's just gross.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see your sweat on the machine. It's disgusting.
Yeah. If you are that person, we're sorry to harp on you, but it's not nice. And it's kind of okay. So Jessica says, I need to go to the gym to pick up a man. Hey, aren't you married? I'm just joking. She is. She's kidding. We just like to joke.
Hey, there are a lot of, handsome, eligible bachelors at the gym. You'd be surprised. I've seen it all.
Hey, Lorenzo, if you're watching,
hey, he knows. I worked in a gym and I would go home and tell him the stories. I'm like, you won't believe what I saw today. So
yeah,
it's just crazy.
So another thing that I don't like, we're going to get to the positives too, but I'm just saying the things that I don't like is when somebody's like when you literally just got on the machine and somebody's like standing next to you, like, how much more do you got? I'm like, dude, I just got here. Like, go somewhere. And then, okay, that's one.
Okay.
Did you ever get a lot of people complaining about that?
Yes.
You did? Really?
I did, yes.
Interesting.
Or the millennials, or not the millennials. That is it.
The Gen Zers?
Gen Zers.
Wait, no. What are y'all called? Gen G?
Gen Z.
Gen G?
Because I'm
Gen G? You know I'm not a millennial. Wait, I think I'm considered a millennial.
Are, and I don't like to be.
I'm like right on the cusp of like millennial still. But, and I'm sorry, you were saying.
So, you know, a lot of them would get on the pieces of equipment and they would just sit there and text. Oh, it would drive the older members crazy.
Yeah.
They're like, what are they doing? They're just texting on their phone. They're not even using it. And I'm just like, okay, don't say anything to them.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. Let's go over there and we'll address it.
I don't like that. Or yeah, I've seen that too. Or like, they're like, okay, like I'm cool with it. Like, you want to post up that you're, hey, I'm out here, you know, that's cool. But like, you'll see some like girls that are like,
if you're taking more pictures and you're working out, then you're not going to the gym to work out. Let's just be honest about it.
Okay. And it's okay. 1 or 2 pictures. Good morning, Rebecca. You know, Rebecca, if you're still on, if you're listening, I want to bring her on next week. Maybe next week we can bring her on the show if she's willing to come on with us. She actually works a lot with seniors, like on a lot of like grassroots. She just put a book out, and this is the book that we gave the agents.
Thank you.
And but there's a lot of cool ideas in there, and not just like when I was reading it, I'm like, oh, cool. Like, these are actually things that I bet you seniors don't even know that they have access to. Like, you know, all the little activities and things that are in the book. So maybe, Rebecca, if you're still on and you can still hear me, let me know if you would like to join us next week on the show, because I'm sure people would love to see you. So let me know. You could. Ooh, I think that's a yes, because she gave us a lot of hearts.
Ooh.
So anyway, so going back to the gym etiquette, right? Let us know what are things that you guys don't like to see at the gym. I was telling her I don't like to see when people don't clean after themselves, all their sweat. And I honestly, I clean after and I clean before I even get on something, because I just honestly don't trust people.
People would always make fun of me, my ex-boss especially, because I'm a germphobe. Like,
she's a
germaphobe.
I'm okay with it because the office is always sparkling clean.
So she's like, how do you? And I'm like, I just don't think about it. I just wear gloves everywhere. Or I just clean and wipe everything down. Yeah. For me, like when the members would come and tell me that, I'm like, oh, I'm on it. I'll go tell that person they're being gross.
Yes, Rebecca, we can do it after 8% because she is a busy woman. So we'll do it after 8%. For sure. Yeah. So like, I see that too. Like a lot of the gym managers cleaning up. Or that's good. Like, especially during COVID. One thing I hate to say, like, there was like some of the good that has come out of it is that the gyms are a lot more cleaner.
Yes.
Well, at least they were in that for those first few months.
Yeah.
But like, you see the employees like spraying everything and doing more cleanliness work. And I see like even the restrooms. Another thing I don't like. Okay. So I don't like when you don't clean after yourself. I don't like when you're harping over me. Right. Because like, I'm trying to like you're there to one, like you're like working out, but two, like you don't want people bothering you.
No.
Another thing is what I don't get. And maybe Carmenza gave me her take on this, but I think it was Carmenza, but like when I'm on like a machine, like an elliptical or a, what do you call those? Treadmill. You could tell I don't get on one very often.
And she just bought one last week.
I just bought one. That like, there might be like 30 of them and there's nobody in the gym, right?
And they go right next to
you. And they go right next
to me. Maybe they're trying to tell you something.
But that's all the time. I'm like, can't be like, I'm like, do I just have like, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to figure out. So I politely like get off and I'll go like pretend I'm doing something else. And then I'll go back to another
And then
one.
they get off and they go follow you.
Dude, Tell us what you don't like when you go to the gym. Tell us what you don't like that happens. We're talking about gym etiquette. Specifically, we were talking about seniors and the things that they could access, but it always evolves into stuff. And even if you're a senior listening, you can relate to a lot of this stuff because you probably experience like the millennial thing that she was talking about.
The Gen Zs.
The Gen Zs, you're probably experiencing that where somebody's taking up your machine, right? Mm-hmm. And you have your go-to machines. And so when somebody's like, what the heck, man, this is my machine. Like, you're never here. I'm always here.
Oh, another one too that people used to complain about. And I used to think it was kind of funny too, is they'd get all the dumbbells and they'd like put them in front of them and they do what's called like supersets.
Oh.
So like one after another, but they'd go and get like all the dumbbells and have them all over the floor next to them.
Wow.
It would drive people nuts.
So since you were the manager, like, did you have to lay the hammer down a lot?
I did, especially when people were being pervs. Like I have to be like, hey, you can't. I had to cancel a person's membership one time because I had an employee and she and her wife used to go work out at the gym, and the guy ended up following her wife home one day.
Oh my gosh.
And so I had to be like, sorry, but you can't be a member here, guy. Like, you're a creeper.
I'm glad you brought this up because if you are anybody, whether you're a senior, even a man or anybody for that matter, we have to be aware of that because when we go to the gym, we're in a headspace, like we're feeling good. We're not thinking like negatively that things can happen around us. Mm-hmm. But a lot of stuff like that happens where you get into this routine, right? Mm-hmm. So like, especially for those gym goers, whether you're going, a lot of you seniors are going early in the morning, like 5, 6 in the morning where it's still dark outside, or maybe you want to go late, right? And maybe you get into this routine.
And it doesn't matter what side of town you live on either. Mm-mm. It happens everywhere. I've worked at gyms on the east side, on the north side, on the south side. It happens everywhere. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. So you need to, so what advice would you give to them if you were, because you obviously were in that space, like, would you give them advice, like, especially when they're walking to the car, like sometimes the gyms get busy and they have to even park further, not so close to the entrance. Like what kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say just like I would tell a lot of the girls, I'd be like, look, be careful. There was times when if there was an issue, I'd have, one of my team members, of course, not putting them at risk either, but being like, hey, do you mind, walking them to their car or, making sure they get to their car. Okay. My mother, thank you, Mom, got me a taser recently.
Oh, that's what Rebecca literally just said, a taser.
She just got me a taser because I love to run in our neighborhood and I run during the day. And so for me, it's, I don't think about that because, I live in a nice neighborhood and I don't think about those things. But again, like I said, it happens everywhere. And so now when I go running, I keep my taser in my little fanny pack.
I'm a little bit more hardcore. I keep my 9mm in my shoe. Just joking.
I think that would be a little bit hard to run with, but I'm pretty sure you can buy a holster that would like keep it securely on your body.
Or just get a 22. I think you're good.
Yeah. So I would say just like you said, being aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like you're in, especially if you have your AirPods or you're on your phone texting, you're not paying attention to the surroundings around you. Somebody can come up and it doesn't matter if you're a senior, if you're a millennial or Gen Z, like people will attack people all the time.
Yeah, there's been a few instances. I know Carmenza has gone through that and I've gone through this as where somebody was actually following us. One time I was running at the track and some man was like, this is when I was younger. I was like 16, 17 and he was a little older. And I know he came out of nowhere. And luckily my mom at the time, she would drop me off at the track. But this time she actually waited. I was like, I'm just going to do a quick run around the track. Good morning, Mom. I think you remember this one. I was at the track and I remember like running and I'm like, oh my God. Like I think, and you know who he looked like? Al Pacino. From Devil's Advocate. And I think I just watched that movie, Devil's Advocate. So maybe I'm like, oh my God,
it's Al Pacino.
It's the devil on my back. But in all seriousness, wherever you are, especially if you're a senior, even though you think, and again, the seniors, what you guys do, you do this a lot, right? You carry those little wallets and sometimes you hook them. Yes. And not just seniors, like a lot of people will hook their wallets to their pants. Good morning, Brett and Early. Oh, it's Claudia. Good morning, Claudia.
Hey, sis.
And so when you hook it to your pants and you're running, people know. So y'all just have to be aware. Like I know you were giving some good advice on what things that they can do, taser, having your employee kind of see you walk out with them. But kind of like people learn your routine.
Yes.
So you just need to like be aware of that, and not to put like more fear into you, because our goal is not to put fear, right? Go to the gym, work out.
Yes.
But at the same time, just be aware of your surroundings, right? Yes. And I'm always on guard. Like even when I'm sitting at my house, like, because I live in the east side, you know, it's still coming up. And I'm outside and sitting with my dog. And if I see a car driving real slow, I like try to hide like kind of behind one of my beams, because like we have a 2-story, but there's a beam. And so I'm like, if it's a drive-by, I'm like hiding behind this thing. But I'm just weird like that. So I'm always like watching like every time.
I don't know if your mom did this to you, but my mom did it to me. She made me a little paranoid. So I'm always like on the lookout and watching. And I make my kids the same way too. I'm like, don't trust nobody. Like,
no, but
that's to be on the lookout.
That's a parent thing. I mean, for most parents, they're like, I was always a worrywart when my mom and sisters can attest to this, that they're listening. Like when we were at the mall, I'm from Corpus, and I never trust anything at Corpus. I'm just joking. But I already knew that at a young age. But when I was growing up, you know how the malls, they have those like where you could see over the second floor.
Yes.
But there's like a glass there. They're still there. So I would never walk next to the glass. I was always walking
because you thought you were gonna fall through.
Because I thought the glass was gonna like tip over if I touched it. And so I would always like, even if my brothers and sisters, I'd like try to pull them away, because I always thought, oh my God, if they fall through, and then I just start freaking out. So anyways, I am a worrywart a little bit when it comes to things. I've gotten better.
But you know what? I got a story about right before I left. There was a gentleman, his older gentleman, and he was a regular. And he dropped his wallet in the parking lot. And so here we are giving props to the Gen Z. There is a group of kids who used to come to the gym all the time, and they found his wallet in the parking lot and they turned it in.
Oh, that's nice.
So being honest and kind, and remembering that, you know, what comes around goes around. If you find something that doesn't belong to you, turn it in. What are you going to do with it? Like, I mean, we know what you can do with it, but it's not going to end up good for you.
Yeah.
So they turned it in, and again, they were both regulars, and they were like, hey, you know, the guy who comes in the morning? And I said, yes. And sure enough, when I opened the wallet to look him up to give him a call, it was him. So yes. So people watch you all the time, whether you believe or not. It's funny because we would always be able to tell what time of the day it was.
Yep.
By when the members walked in the door. We're like, oh, it's time for lunch, or hey, it's already 7 because such and such just walked in.
They have their routine.
It's the same thing. We could always tell the same people every single time.
Yeah. And you know what? I also have a bad habit. Like when I'm going to the gym, I leave my AirPods in and I'm walking to my car. I probably shouldn't do that, especially at night. Like sometimes I'm just like so into my podcast or whatever I'm listening to that, you know, I should probably be more aware of my surroundings. So if you're leaving the gym, just kind of be aware of what's around you. Like just be present on like, okay, walking to my car. And I always have a habit. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one that does this. Let me know in the comments if you guys do this. When I get in the car, I always look in the back seat, like make sure nobody's hiding back there, because sometimes I'm really bad at forgetting to lock my car.
Oh my gosh, that's my husband.
Carmenza gets on me all the time for this.
He does that all the time.
Yeah. But I do have the habit of always like,
I don't know.
Making sure, you know, that nobody's in the car. And also I'm always like, when I'm at the grocery store, because you've seen those videos, like I'm always looking around. Like,
yes, people have come up and snatched people's babies out of the cart. I've seen it. It's crazy.
Now we're getting to like in the weeds here. But be careful, okay? We want our seniors to stay safe, especially when they're in their routine, in the gyms, in the especially like, okay, so like I know even some of my agents go walking at like certain parks. We go to Roosevelt Park here in San Antonio. There's Woodlawn Park. There's a lot of parks that are very beautiful, but they're very hidden. They're not like, you know, you go into these areas where that's like, so if you're going to be walking, 1, take a taser, like Rebecca and Adriana said. 2, pepper spray. 2, they sell those little keychain pepper sprays.
Oh, I have one on my keys too.
3, take a partner. You know, like
a little pocket knife too.
Oh,
yeah, a little pocket knife. That's what I did last time.
Little pocket. I remember Ashley, my friend, was selling like a little. She was selling these. I had bought one for Carmenza. It was like a little, like I don't know what it was.
Oh, the knuckles.
The knuckle thing. It's like a. like you could pull it and
It'll mess somebody up.
It'll really mess somebody up. Don't play pranks on people because you just never know.
Yeah, don't.
So it was pepper spray. It was the little one of those things, and I can't remember what else it was. She'll have to tell you. It's Ashley makes them. And then also always partner if you can. Like find a buddy to walk with. So if you're out there, get a buddy.
Or if you're not, tell somebody that you're going to go for a walk so they know to expect you back.
Yes. Every time I go for a walk or every time Carmenza goes, she'll say, I know. She's like, hey, I'm going to my Camp Gladiator. And then I know exactly like, it finishes at this time. And she'll text me like, I'm on my way home. Because if it's over that, then I got a taser and pepper spray. Dang, girl. She's like, gah, gah.
It's like this.
I wouldn't know which one I'd be like,
okay, I'll leave you alone.
I'm like hurting myself because I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
God. You would like spray yourself instead of
oh my God. A friend of mine did that. I'm not going to say who did that, but a friend of mine did that one time.
Well, you know what they do in the police department? I had a previous employee who worked for me, and he used to work for the Bexar County Sheriff's Department, and he said that they taser you so you can know what it feels like.
Oh,
so it's part of their training. And so like when I got my taser, you said this, babe. He's like, you want me to taser you so you can know what it feels like? And I was like, no, you're crazy. He's like, well, you can do it to me. I was like, no. I'm not doing this. This is not okay.
I don't know about tasing. Maybe when I was in my 20s, I was a little bit more like careless and like, yeah, let's do crazy stuff. And now I'm like, what is it gonna my health insurance deductible? Like, is it gonna make me go to the urgent care because like my deductible is kind of high? Or I'm now like when you get in your 30s, you're thinking about like, how much is it gonna cost if something happens to me? Right.
Yes.
When you're in your 20s, you're like, let's jump off the roof into the pool.
Yes. And that's not, we went to the river like for Father's Day, and me and my sister are sitting there. and back in the day, I'm sure they have like this what is it? Tube shoot. And it's like crazy.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it and we're like, nah, we're good. Maybe like 10 years ago I would have done it, but no, I'm okay.
Yeah. Now I see those. I'm like, my mom, she says,
the anxiety.
Victoria was my second set of, this is my mom saying, Victoria was my second set of eyes. She always worried about her siblings. Don't do that. Be careful. Get away from that. I would actually tell her, relax, enjoy yourself. That's why, guys, look, you wonder why I'm 38. Okay. I have these, like a lot of them. I have these gray hairs. You can't see them. I mean, you can see them, but I have a lot of gray hairs.
Mine are dyed. My awesome hairstylist. Asia.
Yeah. I try to dye mine, but I don't like to dye my hair. I was just saying this morning that I don't blow dry my hair. I just let it dry.
And then it never looks frizzy. I don't know how the heck that happens.
Because I don't blow dry it.
I have like 5 different hair products in my hair.
My grandma, every time I can remember when we went to her house, she had her she'd sit on her because she had like a counter, but it was like almost like a bar height.
Okay.
And so she'd have her coffee and she'd always have her mirror. Like she'd had a mirror in front of her and she was always dyeing her hair. Like, and I'm like, man, how many times can you dye your hair? But she was always dyeing her hair. And, then when I was little, I dyed my hair a lot because my aunt had owned a barber, like a cosmetology or barber, whatever you call it. And we'd always be dyeing her hair, doing something to our hair. So when I grew up doing stuff to my hair. So now that I'm older, I'm really trying to give my hair a break. Are you a senior and like to dye your hair a lot? Not you, but I'm asking the people out there.
I will be dyeing my hair as a senior.
If you're a senior out there, will you be dyeing your hair? Yeah, let us know. I know my mom, I don't like to call my mom a senior. It's so weird because like that's, I won't say her age.
My mom refuses to own that title. I don't think
that's why. Okay, I was saying last week because I was asking Sylvia because Sylvia technically falls into that category, but I'm like, I can't even see you as a senior. Like
she did use it the other day to her advantage. We were in the training and I was like, oh, so now you're a senior. She's like, yes, now I am. I was like, good job.
Jessica says, I do. So you dye your hair a lot. Yeah. So, if I'm trying to like get away from that. But then if I let my hair go too long, I look like it really does age you. If you let your white hairs grow, it makes you look a lot older.
One time I had this GM because when I first became a GM, people
Mhm.
would look at me and they were like, what are you, like 16? I know, right? You're not that manager. I'm like, I'm not even close to that age. I'm sorry. I get it from my mom. So then I had one time a GM was like, yeah, she's like, I started letting my gray hair grow out.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, why? She's
Yeah.
like, so that they could take me more seriously.
Uh-huh.
So for a while, I started to like let my gray hair grow out.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
so I would use that. I'm like, look at my hair. I'm not that young. Like, look at my grays. They're like, oh, okay. No.
Oh my God, this is funny. Hey, my mom's pretty funny. It is what it is what it is. And my best friend, his name is Sally. That's pretty funny, Mom. That's cute.
I mean, if you think about it too, like people call it being vain, but I mean, I just started taking collagen.
Okay.
Remember I told you like
Mhm.
last week,
Yep.
I want to age gracefully as well, but I want to.
Well, you got to stop taking those tequila shots. And then...
Well, I heard that that's good for you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not giving any medical advice, but I do just drink tequila, like
oh gosh,
Blanco.
Blanco. For those of you who don't know, that's the clearer kind
for the sugar-free stuff. But I do realize that the older that I'm getting, the more supplements that I have to take.
So if you're in that 55 plus range, okay, what advice can you give to the people that are 50 and under
that they wish they would have started doing?
That they wish they would have? That's a good one. That you wish you would have started doing when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I look back at when I'm like 60, I'm going to look back at myself in my 20s and say, you should have got better sleep and you should have stopped drinking so much. I've really tried to cut down, but
I've
guys,
told you switch from beer.
Well, I'm a vodka water type of person.
Yeah.
I'm a vodka water type of person. So, but
well, vodka has potatoes, right?
Vodka has potatoes?
I mean, it's made out of potatoes, right?
Yeah, but I can't drink tequila because then I start drinking.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's a vegetable, so it's technically.
Oh yeah. But that's
bad.
Carbs.
But if you're walking and you're doing 100 miles a month, I think you'll be fine.
I don't know how the show always gets to like us drinking, but even when Sylvia's not here, see, this is the type of culture that we create at the Medicare Space. We're kidding, guys. But what if you're in that 60 and up range, or what I say 55 and up range, and you're listening in? What advice would you have given yourself at like 20 or 30 that you would have done differently? Like it could be anything. Let us know. I want to know in the comments or even if you're not 50, what would you give it? Like if you're 30, what would you have given your 20-year-old self advice? What would you have done? Like now that you're in your 30s, what advice would you have given your 20-year-old self?
Probably take more vitamins.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's a good one. Take more vitamins. I think for me, well, I already told you mine. I think it was just, I was like never getting a lot of sleep. And
I don't think any of us did in our 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, I partied way too much. And now if I stay up past 9, I'm super exhausted.
Oh, that's a good one. Eat more organic. That's a good one. Like less sugar.
Okay.
Yes. You know what though? I was never a sugar eater.
I've always had a sweet tooth, but now lately I've not been so much. And I think that when you change what you eat as well, I think that makes a huge difference.
I think maybe, can you see if I have my, my charger? I can't find my charger. My thing's about to die here. Let me see. No, for the actual computer. I think it's over there. Can you check? It's over there in the room. Let's see. Jessica said, and it says Dale. It's like a big charger. Jessica says the advice I got from my grandma was put lotion all over your body.
Oh my God, yes.
Believe me, I do. And I'm always told that you're 53? I'm assuming I look so much younger. I had grandkids school day. Oh, she said she had a grandkid school day and they were like, what? You're a grandma? So
she's right. And you know what? Oh God, so I had a Spanish teacher, right? She was older and I was in high school. I never put lotion on my face. I hate that.
It puts the lotion on the
itself,
skin.
right? I hated it. I hated the oily feeling. And I had a teacher who was like, you need to like put lotion on your face because you are going to get older. You're going to get wrinkly. Well, she wasn't lying because it's true. I can see it now. I put lotion on every single day after I shower because, yeah, I would agree with her about that.
Sorry, guys. I was making sure we get plugged in here because I don't want y'all to lose us here. You want to go ahead and...
Especially since we're talking about wrinkles and
this is some good content right here for you guys to stay with us on, because we're talking about how to not age, or what are things that you would have done differently,
which it still ties in with gym talk.
Yeah,
if you think about it, if you work out and you stay active, I had members that were in their 80s, 90s.
We have somebody says, do not go to bed with makeup on. Oh, I do this a lot.
I do that too. So I'm just a little lazy sometimes.
Do not go to bed with makeup on. So for those of you ladies or men that have awesome skin, what advice can you give to us, or maybe you're in your 70s or 60s or 50s or 40s and I'm hitting 40. Okay, I got something. So like, I've always like had pretty good skin. Like
yeah, you do.
Okay.
I'm not just saying that because you're my boss.
And so everybody, this was more in my 20s, like late 20s, early 30s. Everybody would always ask, oh my gosh, like, what do you do for your skin? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what do you use? And I'm like, oh, like bar soap. And they're like, what? Like, I'm like, yeah, bar soap. Like, and I'm like, is that not okay? And they're like, Victoria, you shouldn't use bar soap. And I'm like, but you're asking me for advice. Maybe you should be using bar soap.
Exactly.
But now I'm older and I start using more like quality product. But this is when I was in my 20s using Irish Springs and like,
oh my God,
whatever.
My dad used to use that. Irish Spring. It leaves you know what it does? It leaves your skin all like dry and like it feels like they're pulling at your skin.
Oh my God. So maybe I use Irish Springs because when I used to go to my grandma's house, if you're listening and you're a senior, what bar soap was popular for you back then? Because I know y'all were using bar soap. There was not a lot of,
what was that? Lever 2000.
We used
to use that one.
Lever 2000, Irish Springs, Ivory.
Ivory.
Now they got fancy ones. Now they got like organic fancy ones.
I don't think they sell that much bar soap anymore. Body wash has taken over.
Yeah, but you know what I used to like to do? I used to like to get the shaver like do this. Ivory soap. Somebody says Ivory soap was one. Ivory soap. So we have 2 Ivory soaps. We have, somebody said Zest.
Yes, Zest.
Oh, okay. What's that song? You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
Oh my God.
And then there was a little
with the towel. And it said Zest on
Zestfully clean. I can't remember Ivory. I just remember the Zest. That's the beauty of good marketing, right? Because you still remember that.
Yeah. Or what was it? The Toys R Us. I want to be a big kid.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Yep. And but okay, guys, we went. So we were talking about, those mature women that have maintained their skin.
Even some men too don't even look their age.
See, Grandma had her coffee mirror and cocoa butter on her counter. Oh, so maybe I just need to add cocoa butter into my process.
Yes.
Cocoa butter.
Yes.
Or even coconut oil, maybe coconut oil.
Oh, yes.
I know vitamin E oil.
Okay.
If you're in the health or nutrition industry and you can provide us tips to seniors on how to reverse the anti-aging process, let us miss you guys. So busy at the 1000. Sylvia says hi. So Sylvia's right now working at senior center. Gerard Martinez says Irish Springs was the best in the West and nothing less.
Hi, Dad.
I would have to agree with that. I love.
He used to use that.
I could tell you're my type of guy because, like,
I told you you'd get along. My dad likes the same stuff you do. Toomey, nice watches. Yeah.
We might not be good for each other. We'd be going broke together.
Oh yeah. He likes that expensive stuff. But yeah, I remember like if we ran out of the one we used to use, we used the Liver 2000, and then I had to use his soap. It would leave my skin like just so dry and just like.
Oh,
so yeah, that's the one he used to use.
So if you have any beauty tips, so we were talking about the gym today.
Yes.
So we talked about if you weren't here earlier with us, be sure to comment. Let us know where you're listening from: San Antonio, Corpus, Houston, Texas, Austin, wherever, Colorado. I don't care where you're at. I use baby oil at night on my face, elbows, feet, and knees. Interesting. I love the way baby oil smells.
Oh, I hate baby oil. My mom used to use that all the time. And that's probably why she doesn't look her age. She looks a lot younger. Is because she would put it on and I hate that feeling.
Well, I see those guys that, that are putting on that baby oil at the beach.
Or at the gym.
Oh, at the gym, really?
So that their muscles could show more. Yeah.
My mom would say, okay, so Jessica says, my mom would say Dove, Ivory, and Olay bar soap as long as it's white. Huh, interesting.
Maybe
why the white? Like I'm curious. I wonder why the white only. Maybe because it doesn't have as much chemicals and all that.
Because they have to process it right to give it that color, probably.
So, put a little thumbs up in the comments if you still use bar soap. I'm curious because I can't, So I'm really weird, and not to like give y'all maybe I won't even go there. I won't even give a visual.
You've already gone there.
I know. I know.
But people want to hear now.
I always was like the type of person that had to have bar soap and body wash. Because I felt like the bar soap actually cleans you. Okay. Like I felt like you get that real clean feeling. And then the body wash was kind of just like the topping on, the icing of the cake.
I've never heard that. I love it.
So that's the way I think. Like, I feel like that. I don't know. If you're like that, let me know. Am I the only weirdo that does the bar soap and the body wash? Okay. Or maybe maybe you're like real organic and you don't shower or even do any of that. Let us know. If what you do. Jessica says, talking about baby oil, mix a bottle of baby oil and in any lotion, mix it really well and use it on your feet overnight. See guys, you guys are getting some good tips from our listeners today. Let's see. Imelda.
Hi, Mom.
Let me see. Some are from generics. The other is by keeping your skin hydrated. Are you talking about like body soap? The body?
Oh, I think she's talking about the color.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so, my mom's always used good. And then, like I said, I didn't believe that teacher in high school that told me, she's like, you're going to need to put moisturizer when you get older. And I'm just like, every time I put the lotion on my face, I think about that teacher. I'm like, God, she was right.
I always remember my teacher that says, if the shoe fits, wear it. And if she's listening in, you know who you are. And I know my sisters had, oh my gosh. So going to teachers. So did you have these teachers that said their own sayings? Like, she'd say, if the shoe fits, wear it. And then the other one would say, God, if Priscilla was on here, she could tell me. There was a other one that said, whatever floats your boat. Same teacher. She always used like a lot of those. And I never knew what they meant. Like, can you explain what you mean here? Because I'm only like in 6th grade. Like, if the shoe fits, wear it. And I look down, I'm like, I don't think my shoes fit.
So I can't wear it.
So we talked about some safety tips at the gym. We talked about, so if you're just joining in and you missed half the show, you can always go back on our YouTube channel, subscribe, and make sure that you watch them back. You can watch them back at any time, or even our Facebook channel. But we talked about safety tips at the gym. We even talked about growth stories at the gym. So don't be a cochino at the gym.
Yeah, don't.
And if you need tips, Adriana, call Adriana. 210-404-4762 if you have Medicare questions, or if you need some gym etiquette tips. Okay.
Yes.
We talked about safety tips when you're working out. So like, even if you're at the gym, be aware of your surroundings. If you're walking out of park, be aware of things that you can do: tasers, pepper spray, take a little partner. What else did we say?
Let people know where you're going.
Let people know where you're going.
And how long you're going to be, so to expect you.
Then we got into beauty secrets, right? Yes. So a lot of our listeners were giving us ideas, some actually great ideas, some great ideas you guys were giving us. And we appreciate you guys, really, by you guys listening to our show and liking it and sharing it and commenting on this. It actually really does help the channel, where it will allow us to continue to do the show, right? Because if we don't have listeners, then it's kind of like, why do we do the show? But we love doing the show because not only do we give like good values, not just on Medicare stuff, but we also give stuff for seniors. And actually we give stuff for everybody, like who can't learn how to take care of the skin better, right?
Exactly.
And we're not like beauty, what do you call those? Like experts. But if you're a beauty expert and you want to give us some beauty tips, even for guys like to take care of themselves too.
Yes, they
do. And for you men that are still single out there, not the married ones, but the single ones, I know you guys want to look good and find your little wifey later.
Yes.
Right. So we gotta show you how to look good too.
Yes. Smell good too, because
smelling good.
Oh my God. We'd get some people and I'd be like, do I have to go tell them something? If it's bothering other people, I would have to go tell somebody.
That's a hard job. You got to say, how do you say it? Like,
I would usually sometimes make my assistant manager
make somebody else do it. That's the solution.
I'm like, hey, come here. I need you to talk to one of the members.
In high school, they would say, what would they call it? It was your hygiene. Your hygiene or whatever, but anyway, but for those of you that are listening, thank you so much. We had a lot of supporters today talking about, man, I guess people love to talk about beauty and health.
That's her secret.
Beauty and health,
to get people to listen, because I mean, honestly, seniors have a lot. Their information is so valuable. Like you said, what advice could you give us? And then what advice could we, I'm sure we have advice to give to seniors too, right? Like, what can we help with? How can we be a better help? What can we do? How can we make an experience better for you? So I think we both have information we can exchange.
Well, they have the wisdom and we have the technology in a lot of cases. So like, a lot of the seniors get all frazzled when we talk about like doing this on your phone or downloading this app or going into the email or sign this form or do use DocuSign it like, and then if they're talking about something, maybe giving us just life advice or things that they would have done differently. Like when I was younger, I didn't really like to listen to advice. I don't like people. I was never like disrespectful, but I just didn't like to listen to like people tell me what to do. But now that I've been in the market, and especially the senior market, I've learned so much from my seniors, like on what not to do, or even like if I see them doing something, I'll be like, okay, don't do that.
Yes.
So you just learn, always like learn every day. Like if somebody's starting to talk to you, like if you're a younger person listening and somebody's like chit chatting with you, especially if it's an older individual, like chat with them. Like what, I always like, even like when I'm at a restaurant or something and we're in line, or I'm always chatting with people. I just like to chat, like small talk. But sometimes you'll meet some really nice seniors that have some good stuff to tell you.
Or you'll meet people who will change your life. Not to end on a sad note, but I had a member who presented a book to me. I kept seeing it everywhere, and she presented it to me. It was like a poem out of a book, and the book changed my life. And she ended up passing away. And crazy enough, I ended up finding out because it was the end of my shift and I was leaving, and I was already running late to go home, and the phone rang and the staff was busy. And I said, no, I'll answer it. So I picked up the phone And sure enough, it was her daughter-in-law. And she's like, hey, I'm calling because I need to cancel a membership. And I said, sure, I can help you. I'm the manager. She gave me the name of her, and sure enough, it was it was a member, and she was amazing. So, and she was full of knowledge and wisdom, and I loved having conversations with her. So she's right. Like, for those of you who think that you shouldn't make time for seniors, or they don't have valuable information, you're so wrong. They have so much wisdom.
Yeah.
I love to listen to stories and advice, and they will change your life sometimes. You just have to take the time to pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see that when you're on the call with people, you're like, oh yeah, but you're I'm like, come on, get to work.
Come on, you have more people to help. I'm like, I know, but he's telling you
they're waiting in line.
Yes.
But no. So if you think that Adriana did an awesome job filling in for Sylvia, let us know. Put a little thumbs up in the comments. Let her know how well she did. I think you did a great job.
Thank you. It was an honor. Thank you, Sylvia. You do an amazing job. And
Sylvia does do an amazing job. We love you guys. Are two different, but we're all the same. We got some likes here. Also, Sylvia will be out of town next weekend, so Adriana will be standing in again. Let us know what you want to. What should we talk about next week?
Maybe more beauty stuff.
Or
what was the best? What was seniors? What was a piece of advice that was given to you when you were young that you wish you would have taken now that you're older?
You know what? I think that's a good idea. If you are interested, because we have the ability to bring you on the phone, okay, where people are listening to your questions or advice. So what I might do, if you guys are willing, and if you're listening next Friday, 10 a.m. Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, or our Facebook pages, direct message me your phone number. I'll call you, and you can either, one, give us what you would have done differently when you were younger, or two, give us some wisdom to a younger person.
Yes.
That you feel, whether it's marriage advice, whether it's beauty advice, whether it's life advice, whether it's money advice, you guys have a lot to teach.
Yes.
So things that you would have done differently back then, that you could give advice to, the younger people, our younger generation, like the Brooks of the world that are 16 years old, that, because we have to, I feel like when my work ethic really did come from like how I grew up,
Mine too, for sure.
And like my respect level, because like, shoot, if we talk back, we get spanked.
Yes.
Now kids are like, just give me your phone and you can't have your phone for 10 days. Like, what's that going to do? Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a spanking, I was like, okay, shoot, my butt hurts. I don't want to get spanking today. But so we just kind of grew up in a little bit of a different time, and it's changing. But what are things? So like, join us next week. Write down 3 things. It doesn't just have to be one piece of advice. Write down 3 things. We're going to ask you to message us. We're going to bring you. You don't have to be on camera. We'll just bring you on like on a phone call. And like, I'm going to test it out right. Well, Sylvia's, I can't bother Sylvia. I won't bother. She's busy right now.
Or they can send them in to us and we could read them too as well.
You can send, you can send them in to us, but I want to get some engagement on here with you guys that are listening. You guys are always so good. So I'm going to pick on some of you guys next week. Be sure to send me your number. If you want to message us before the show, direct message us before the show and let us know what advice, and then I'll bring you on and I'll kind of chit chat, and you don't have to be scared. Don't be nervous. I know it's nervous to get on the phone. Pretend it's a radio station and you're calling in to win like $1,000, even though you're really not calling to get $1,000. You're just calling to give advice.
But you're that excited. We want that enthusiasm.
We want that kind of enthusiasm. So will you join me? Will you join us next week, Friday at 10 a.m. Central? So that way we can provide more value to the people that are listening and more value to you. And also we want to bring in not only education, but entertainment.
Yes,
right?
For sure.
Because we love to provide education, and we will always answer your questions if you need us regarding Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, anything that you have that we can answer. But at the end of the day, we want to private value in other ways by making you laugh, by making you cry, maybe not crying as much, but just providing.
Laugh so hard you're crying.
I like that.
Just
Laugh
like
so,
that.
Yeah, that's more of a positive approach. Laugh so much you're crying. So thank you so much, guys, for listening in. We are 3 minutes over today. We're really trying to stick to that hour-long show. If you listen into any talk show or anything, listen into ours, support us, share it, and we really enjoy you guys. And is there anything you want to send off to our audience today?
Thank you for having me and letting me sit in for Sylvia. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And we love her. And if you're first time watching today, make sure and come back and watch her when she's here with Victoria. They have really great chemistry on the podcast. They're hilarious. I love it. I had the privilege of sitting in last week and it was just funny. It's like, they don't miss a beat and it's awesome.
Well, you didn't do so bad yourself, kid.
Thank you.
And maybe you can come in with us when we're doing the shows too. Because us three together, we're pretty funny.
Oh yes. We have way too much fun.
Maybe we think we're funny and everybody else thinks we're just annoying.
No, I know I'm funny because we did a TikTok video and how many views did it have?
It got 15,000 views.
So I know I'm funny.
I wonder if I can bring that on. Next week, we're going to show y'all the video and let us know what y'all think. But we have to thank Brooke too, because Brooke's been really helping us with with a lot of things in the office as far as our marketing stuff. And we're trying to teach her a lot on the backside. Like she set everything up today. So like we were teaching her how to set up the camera, how to set up the computer, the roadcaster, the lighting. So if you guys are getting a clear, good picture and audio, that was Brooke that set it up for us today. So when I'm not here and I want to go on vacation, Adriana and Sylvia can fill in without any technical issues, hopefully.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So if I'm not here one day and you guys see Adriana and Sylvia and I'm not here and you can't hear them, it's because they probably don't know how to
see us and it's all over the place.
Yes.
It's because she's not here.
So I think at the end of this month, we're going to be doing a giveaway. I think it's summertime. So I think Sylvia and I are going to give a couple of fans away. Some of those box fans that maybe if you don't need it, you can always give it to somebody that's in need. So I think if anything, be sure you guys are listening to the show. We're going to be doing some advertising about that.
That's an awesome gift in this heat.
Mm-hmm.
My air conditioner has gone out in my house. And let me tell you, box fan works.
And it makes me go to sleep. It's like, and I'll be like,
like the stuff we used to do when we were kids. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that was my impression of me talking into a box fan.
Yes.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. We will see you next Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Be sure to share the show, and we love all our listeners. And thank you, Adriana. You did an awesome, awesome job.
Thank you.
And we will see you on the next show.
Bye.
Bye-bye.